Okay, so welcome to Tactics and Touchlines. Today we are looking at a big game in Spain. If we are talking about two clubs in Spain, who gives you the excitement is Real Madrid against Barcelona. Today, Barcelona will be playing at home against Real Madrid. The biggest game in Spain, the biggest game in the world, the Clásico. We are going to look deeper into the game. How can both teams help, especially their season? Real Madrid, can they salvage a win against Barcelona to try and get the La Liga, or Barcelona can end that conversation between them and Real Madrid, beating them for the fourth time in this season? So into the game and find out what we need to know and what we're expecting from this game. So I'll start with Raf. Raf, let's look into this game. The El Clásico has been one of the biggest games in the world with Messi, Ronaldo, the likes of Figo, the likes of Ronaldinho gracing this game. Going into this game with Barcelona going out of the Champions League, how do you think Hansi Flick needs to approach the game and make sure that he can defeat Real Madrid for the fourth time in a row in a season and go on to win the La Liga?
Okay, so thank you very much once again. I will start by talking about the El Clásico itself. I mean, for some seasons now, the El Clásico has lost some spark and some viewership, if I should put it that way. I mean, far as 4 or 5 years ago, when the Ronaldos and the Messis were in the Barcelonas and Real Madrid, I mean, El Clásico was top of the town. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody wanted to have a glance and watch the El Clásico. But then it has lost some spark. But I feel it is the individual players who make that particular game exciting. And hopefully, thank God we have Yamal as a star boy and somebody to look out for when that two teams are playing. Now we have an Mbappe and a Yamal. So fans have something they're going to look at. So gradually the excitement is coming back. I'm just praying that Yamal shouldn't drop the standard. He should keep playing like how he's playing. And then the excitement should be more. I mean, when they're going to play El Clásico, across the world, across the globe, everybody is trying to watch the El Clásico. So the excitement is coming back. Now, going into the game itself, and the question you asked, what does Hansi Flick has to do to beat Barcelona for the fourth time? Yes, of course, you don't have to change a winning team. He knows what to do. He knows how to beat Barcelona. He has done that 3 times already. And as the saying goes, you don't change a winning team. But this time around, Madrid is coming very wounded. Madrid is wounded because they have lost everything this season. They are out of the league. They are out of the Copa del Rey, which they lost Barcelona, out of the Champions League. And also, one bad sign for Real Madrid too is that Barcelona is also out of the UEFA Champions League. So they are going to focus solely on the league. For tactical reasons, Hansi Flick has dominated Ancelotti in the past 3 games. Therefore, Hansi Flick doesn't have to change anything. He should just go by their game. They believe their boys are young. They believe the Kubasis, the Gerard Martins, the Pedris, they are young and they believe they can still come back. So the exit in the Champions League semi-final is not going to be a big blow for the team. It's going to encourage them more for them to come up again and then practice very well, go back to the drawing board and come back better next season. But then I feel the points gap between Madrid and Barcelona, Ben, if you can help, what's the points gap? The difference in the points gap, I think 74,
yes.
70.
Yeah, as of now, the points gap is Barcelona on 79 and Real Madrid on 75. So it's a 4-point gap between them. So if Real Madrid are
only
to
4
win,
points.
Yes, if Real Madrid are to win now, they close the gap to just a 1 point. And on Wednesday, Real Madrid will play a game before Barcelona, meaning if they are to win their Wednesday game, they go on top of the league and a lot of pressure will be on Barcelona.
Wow. So the game is going to be played at the Nou Camp or
Yes.
Barcelona's home ground?
Yes, Barcelona's ground. Yes.
Okay. On that note, on paper, per the 2 teams and their recent games they played in, and tactically how they line up, I feel Hansi Flick will go in for the same setup, Rafinha and Yamal. I read Lewandowski also telling Hansi Flick he wants to get a nod, he wants to start some games, particularly in that game. So I feel if Barcelona comes up with their full setup, they are still going to hurt Barcelona, because at the moment Barcelona team is not stable. They are not stable at all. They are having internal issues bothering them. So I feel Barcelona is not going to change the winning team, and they're still going to get a win over Real Madrid.
Okay, so Prince, I want to find out from your side. Let's look at the Real Madrid setup. Coming into this game, they are like a wounded lion. They have nothing to lose. they are going into a season where they are even thinking of changing a manager. Going into this game, it's either they win and give themselves hopes, especially going into the end of the season with 4 games left. Do you think Ancelotti, now there are rumors of he going to Brazil, do you think he needs to win this game? And if he is to win this game, he has had 19 El Clásico meetings between Real Madrid and Barcelona. He has lost 10 and won 9. How important is this game for a coach like Ancelotti going into the final El Clásico of his Real Madrid career?
Okay, so honestly, just like Rafa have been saying, this match is going to come up as it's going to be a tough match. And Ancelotti, with all the rumors surrounding him, might probably want to prove a point going into the last days and looking forward to maybe getting a silverware to end the season for the White Angels before he gets to lead them. I think today I read in the news where Bayer Leverkusen have actually made it formal that their coach is not going to stay for the next season, as in he's going, and it's clear that his next job will be in the capital city of Spain. So I think Ancelotti should give it all. I understand he should place his best bet and try and get the 3 maximum points. Because as soon as he gets the 3 points, they are just left just a point in between, and anything can happen. If Barcelona gets to drop a match and draw, and it goes in favor of them, I think what Ancelotti needs to do is what I believe his backroom staff will tell him. He should just make every moment count in that game, every tackle, everything, because you clearly going to have Barcelona come in with their highline again because it works for them. It works for them so well. They'll look at how well they will make that highline. So it will be worrying Mbappe, especially whenever they are playing those offside plays. So I think Ancelotti should also look for a new strategy or a different strategy that these small teams have been using against Barcelona, and they've been winning. There's this last former sentence, they break this high line and they get their 3 points. So I believe Ancelotti should look at copying something similar and just breaking the high line and getting the 3 points. When he does that, it makes it very competitive going into the final weeks now. Yeah, so I believe he should do that.
Okay, so with Ancelotti, as you said, Ralph, let's look at Ancelotti. If he's to win against Barcelona in this El Clásico match and go on to win the La Liga, should he be crowned as his best season in Real Madrid, even though he has gone through seasons winning the Champions League, La Liga? But we know this season has been a very difficult season for him. So if he's to win the La Liga, that means he has had a successful season compared to previous seasons with these egos and a whole lot of mismanagement in the squad.
The expectations this season were very high. I mean, with the inclusion of Kylian Mbappe, I mean, a lot of pundits and connoisseurs of the game were saying that Mbappe's arrival will make Madrid thrive. They're going to win a lot of things and all. But then it just backfired a little bit. Now, he winning the league, something he has done already last season. I'm not sure it will be something of a news if they win the league again. But the question you asked, if it will be his best season. I mean, there are seasons here he won the Champions League and the league as well. So winning the league only, yes, it might, because he's having a very difficult time. And I also believe the boys are going to play for him since it is his last season at the club. Maybe possibly his last El Clásico. They want to give their best for their manager, who has given them a lot of laurels and also has guided them as a father figure in the team. They will give their best. So I feel even when he wins the league, it will be a good season for him. It will be a good season because of the up and downs. It will be a good one. It will be a good one.
Okay, so it being a good season for him, Ralph, Brains, I want us to look at Hansi Flick. Coming into this Barcelona setup, with no money involved trying to get in players. It was just Danny Olmo they were able to get into the squad. But he has been able to make a lot of changes with Lamine Yamal, with Rafinha, and some of the academy or La Masia boys coming in. How do you classify his season? If he's to go to the end of the season not winning the La Liga, would you still classify him having a successful season, building the squad that next season can do something great for the club?
Yeah, I think as a player has done so well. He has done so well, especially with this set of players he has. Let's be honest, this Barcelona team is not that experienced with the players they have. You could just mention a few of them that we can say they have the experience. They've played in La Liga for long. But look at Yamal, Gavi. I don't think Pedro has played up to 3 or 4 seasons. Yeah, so these guys are, and you have Kubasi, who is very young, and their keeper, Szczesny, coming in from a retirement. So you clearly see that these guys have done so well under the coach, and we just have to praise Ancelotti for bringing out the best from these young guys, and also with the fact that he has perfected the high line so well that it helps them because they get to move forward, they press. And one thing I was telling one guy when they played against Inter was that their most powerful weapon is their most powerful weapon, as in the high line, is also their weakest tool. Because when you break that high line, and that's it, and that's their most powerful weapon as well. Because when they are playing against you, they play the high line so well that if you are not careful, you might have to be playing. They'll play you offside, and they are so good with that, especially Kubasi. So I think Hansi Flick has done so well. If he doesn't win the La Liga, he has done so well. Honestly, he has done. I think he has won 2 trophies already. He won the Super Cup and the Copa del Rey. And to either add the La Liga or not, he has done so well. And these guys will be happy going into next season with this experienced coach.
Okay, Ralph, let's look at the Ancelotti side. How can he break this high line Prince is talking about? Should he go with last season's formation where he played with a false 9, or go into the same formation he has been playing this season? And how can he stop Barcelona's high line from being active on the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Junior?
I'm so surprised Ancelotti is not being able to break the Barcelona's high defensive line. I'm so surprised. I mean, you have some of the best 2 wingers in world football, in Vinicius Junior and Kylian Mbappe, and yet still they are finding it difficult to break that high line. I'm beginning to think that the Kubasi and the Minugo Martinez or whoever plays as central defense or the back line of Barcelona are being too clever than the attackers, because they mostly form a line that mostly puts or fixes the Barcelona attackers in an offside position. Almost every time they are in a position whereby they are going to be offsided. So I feel this time I expect the manager doesn't have to do a lot. It lies on the attackers, that is Vini Jr. and Mbappe, to be very, very smart and clever, because they are moving together in a line. So the moment they see that you've forgotten about the line and you are just moving up and down unnecessarily, they just create that space for you to be offside. And Mbappe is the victim. 10 out of 10 times you'll be offside about 7 or 8 times. So I'm expecting Mbappe to be very clever, Vini Jr. to be also very clever. And it is easy. I mean, there are some teams that when you play this high defensive, they are going to exploit you. I'm not being biased here, but if this high line against Mohamed Salah, he might exploit you. He might get some goals. So I'm expecting Kylian Mbappe and Vini Jr. to be very clever. And also, the 3 consecutive defeats against Real Madrid has psychologically affected the team in a way. I mean, they should calm themselves down, go into the game and play their normal game. Real Madrid can beat Barcelona, but psychologically and some internal issues are disturbing them. So I feel I need Mbappe to be clever. I need Vini Jr. to be clever in breaking a high defensive line. Bearing in mind, if Jules Koundé and Alejandro Balde will be available, I'm yet to check on that. But if they'll be available, yes, they still have to be clever and know how to play. But if they are not available and the young guys like the Gerard Martins and then Arajo and other guys will be playing in that position, they should take the opportunity and be able to beat Barcelona for the first time this season.
Okay, so Ralph, looking at this game, what do you think the scoreline would be, especially going into a crucial game for both sides?
I see Barcelona winning that game by 2-1.
So, Prince, let's look at the Barcelona side. With Real Madrid finding it very difficult to break their high line, we saw them also attacking so much against a team like Inter Milan in the Champions League, where they don't get to slow down, especially when they are a goal ahead. Do you think going into an El Clásico like this, which 3 points is very needed, should Flick, after getting a goal or two, try to possess the ball and slow down the game, or they should go with that approach that has been getting them a lot of goals against Real Madrid?
I think definitely Barcelona want to get the goals, especially a player like Lewandowski. I think he's just a goal difference between Lewandowski and Kylian Mbappe when it comes to the golden boot. So Barcelona, if they are to start Lewandowski, he will push forward once to get a goal or two, so he can at least open a gap a bit between himself and Mbappe. You know, he went on injury for some weeks, so I believe he might want to recover with some goals in there. So definitely, he would like to push forward and get a goal or two, maybe in the first half. And after that, they will still want to get more, so they can make a statement afterwards that we scored with this amount of goals, this number of goals. And you know how El Clásico is. When the goals are more, they get to throw you and all those things. So I believe these boys want to move forward and get the goals. And I believe probably this guy will be playing, Koundé, because he's injured. So Koundé might not be playing. So it might restrict Garcia, who probably will play the right back, to come deep. So someone like Mbappe or Vinicius, Vinicius, if he's going to play the left wing, someone like Vinicius needs to be extra careful. You understand? He needs to be extra careful, especially with the fact that he might not have the chance to move forward much because of Derek Garcia. That will be coming forward. That will be surging forward almost all the time. But if Barcelona is to continue like giving us coming forward to play more, I believe Madrid will also take advantage of that. I want to play if it's a counter attack. I don't know if Ancelotti can study a counter attack strategy for just tomorrow's game. When you look at the game they played against Inter Milan did similar things where with just 3 passes, they're already in the box of Barcelona. So I believe it's something they should all try and study the weakness of each other and take advantage when the time comes.
Okay, so with this game being a crucial game, what do you think the scoreline would be?
Looking at how Madrid played against Barcelona the last time, I think some few weeks ago, they almost won the game, if not for Koundé's interception and hitting that ball from outside the 18 box. They almost won that game. So 3-1. Okay, 2-2 or 3-1 in favor of Barcelona.
Okay, so meaning we are expecting a lot of goals in this game. We can't talk about Real Madrid without not talking about some conversations coming around the club. One is Xavi Alonso joining the club and Alexander-Arnold also joining the club. And it has raised a lot of concerns. So I want to start with Raf on this. With Xavi Alonso joining Real Madrid with Alexander-Arnold, which is a player from your club, do you think he'll go into this Real Madrid team with the same 3-4-3 system, or he needs to go with a traditional 4-3-3 system Real Madrid have always been playing, with the likes of Alexander-Arnold now joining the team?
Wow. Alexander-Arnold is a multi-talented footballer, if I should put it that way. He's so versatile. I quite remember when Klopp was at Liverpool. Pep did something with John Stones, the invented fullback. Whenever they are attacking, you see John Stones in midfield. And when they are defending, you see John Stones' job. Klopp did the same thing with Trent Arnold, the invented fullback. Whenever Liverpool is attacked, you see Trent in midfield. And I think it was that season that Guy Southgate, the England manager, took Trent to the Euros and played him in that same midfield role.
Yeah.
So it was the genesis of something coming up, something new coming up. And I was telling my friend of mine the last time that after Toni Kroos left Real Madrid, they have not gotten any. Modric is an excellent passer of the ball, but they need somebody younger who can do something similar to what Kroos did. That's 30 yards, 40-yard pass. And if I will not be biased, I mean the best passer of the ball currently, as in a defender, I'll give it to Trent Arnold. If it comes to that 40 yards, 30 yards, 60-yard pass, he's a master of that. So I feel his inclusion in the Real Madrid. I was telling somebody that I don't see him playing as a right back most of it because Dani Carvajal is coming back, right? And I feel Trent Arnold will slot into that midfield. He can play in that midfield role perfectly. That Toni Kroos style of play, he will do that perfectly. That eye for pass and all this, he's going to do that perfectly. And then also the inclusion of Xabi Alonso. Yes, I think in Alonso's contract, he said the first any team that can come, if he's going to resign or leave Bayern Leverkusen, the first team he might be tempted to join is Real Madrid. There's a clause like that in his contract. So I'm not surprised he's going there. Now, we're discussing him the last time that will he be able to manage the Eagles. He should be preparing himself from now. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of people who are going to help him. He can't do that and only. He's going to get a lot of matured guys in the dressing room who are going to help him. So we are going to see how it's going to pan out. But I feel Xabi Alonso going there is going to add some discipline. We are going to see some fresh faces in the dressing room at Real Madrid. And I believe he'll be able to manage the Eagles and also with the inclusion of Trent Arnold. I'm not sure they are going to sign only Trent Arnold. They'll be adding someone. I heard them tracking some other players like William Saliba, Ibrahim Konate, if it is really a concrete, something like that. So let's see how it's going to turn out. But with Trent Arnold, trust me, he's going to deliver Real Madrid. He's going to deliver.
Okay, Prince, let's look at Xabi Alonso, Trent Arnold, Liverpool, like Real Madrid is inclusions. Do you think he's a coach that would help this Real Madrid team back to where they've been with Trent Arnold? What position are you looking at him playing? A right back or in Xabi Alonso's 3-4-3 system, which he can play as a right wing back, or now he comes into the middle and play that Toni Kroos role they've been missing out all this season?
I think the last time we had a conversation about Xabi Alonso coming to Madrid and also Klopp, between Klopp and Xabi Alonso, and we had this discussion. And just like Raf said, I believe he should start looking at how he can, this man management and how he can manage the ego in the dressing room, especially. If he's not able to deal with that, that will be a cancer that will let him out easily. Because that's the problem every team will face if it's not dealt properly. So I believe that's the first thing he has to look at. And also about Arnold, I don't know, but I feel he will excel if he tries him like the way he plays Frimpong in the Leverkusen setup, where he plays the wing back and he drives forward, and probably from there he can have a strategy where if he's to play with Carvajal could, if they are attacking, Carvajal could just move to that side and have Trent invert and add up to Jude and the likes of, if Adagula is going to play, those guys in the midfield to spice up the midfield with those passes and those piercing passing and all those things. So I feel like if he modifies Arnold ball, modifies him so well that he plays like the Frimpong. You know how Frimpong plays in the Leverkusen setup. He moves and that doesn't look bad because of the 3-back system and the solid defense. So if he's going to get a solid back line and wants to play Trent at the wing back and move him forward when he's attacking, or probably invent when he's attacking, at least what is going to help him have the full potential of Trent, because that guy is very good. Let's be honest, that guy is very, very good. He has so much potential in him that if the manager, that is Xabi Alonso, gets to unlock all these potentials, he's going to have him work well for him.
Okay, so thank you for joining us on La Liga or Clásico edition of Tactics and Touchlines. Today we looked at at the game, how both teams are going to line up and what they need to do to at least get the 3 points needed. Xabi Alonso to Real Madrid and Trent, I think later in the season when they get to officially be announced at the club, we'll look into how Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid team is going to set up, and we'll look at in depth on how they can perform and outsmart some of the teams in the La Liga and also move into that Champions League. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.